Welcome back to The Explainer. So today we're peeling back the curtain on something that's literally the beating heart of how massive businesses operate. It's something we almost never actually see, the corporate mailroom. You can really think of it as the central nervous system of an entire organization. Today, we're going to dive into exactly how these giant companies handle an overwhelming, non-stop daily influx of communication without, completely falling apart.
Okay, let's quickly hit today's agenda. We've got the meaning of mail, types of corporate mail, centralizing mail handling work, mailroom equipment and accessories, inward and outward journeys, and finally, embracing the digital shift.
Before we jump in, I want you to picture your own personal email inbox for a second. If you're anything like me, it gets a little chaotic, right? Now take that exact feeling and scale it up to the corporate level. We are talking about tens of thousands of physical letters, parcels, and digital messages flowing in and out of a building every single day. Have you ever wondered how a massive company doesn't just drown in that ocean of paper?
Section 1. The meaning of mail.
So let's build our foundation here. What exactly is mail in a strict business context? Well, formally, it's defined as the sending and receiving of written communication of various types in an organization, and it forms an absolutely integral part of daily administrative work. As our sources point out, written communication is actually the most formal and reliable way to exchange information. We're talking memos, circulars, reports, letters to the government. Getting this right is literally a matter of survival and growth for a company.
And here's why it's so crucial. It does way more than just move words from point A to point B. It facilitates vital ideas and maintains these crucial relationships with stakeholders. Beyond that, it creates a permanent record. It serves as a sequence of events, like a documented trail of a whole business relationship. Plus, and this is pretty cool, it acts as a brand ambassador. Think about it. A well-crafted sales letter in someone's hands physically represents the company's entire corporate image.
Section 2. Types of corporate mail.
Okay, so we basically have two main ways to classify all this communication. First is by transmission. Is it physical paper mail dropped off by a courier, or is it electronic mail sent over a network? The second way is by direction. Is it inward, meaning it's coming from the outside? Is it outward, heading out to clients? Then you've got the internal stuff. Interdepartmental means it's crossing between different departments, like from accounts over to sales. Intradepartmental means it's staying inside the very same department.
Section 3. Centralizing mail handling work.
Now, where does all this sorting actually happen? Well, setting up a centralized mail department has some massive benefits. You get true specialization. The mail handling supervisor becomes an absolute expert. It means the other departments can actually do their jobs instead of, dealing with envelopes all day, and you get to optimize all your expensive equipment. But it's a trade-off. The sheer volume funneling into one spot can cause bottlenecks, and when everything goes through one central hub, maintaining the absolute secrecy of highly confidential letters becomes incredibly tricky.
Which brings us to Section 4. Mailroom equipment and accessories.
To manage that centralized mounting of paper without things grinding to a halt, humans need some serious help. We're talking heavy machinery. A folding and inserting machine can take 5,000 to 10,000 sheets in an hour, fold them perfectly, and stuff them right into envelopes. No way a person is doing that. There are also letter opening machines that use rotary knives to shave a tiny slice off 500 envelopes a minute, delicately avoiding the critical contracts inside. It saves time, it eliminates waste, and it gets rid of the sheer monotony of doing it by hand.
Now, think about postage. If you're sending out 10,000 letters, you're definitely not peeling 10,000 individual stamps. You use a postal franking machine. This electric device automatically weighs and prints those bright red postage stamps directly onto parcels. And because it's essentially printing money in the form of postage, a company literally has to get a specific license from the post office just to have one on the premises.
The advantages here are just staggering. An electric one can frank up to 15,000 items an hour. It completely eliminates the headache of manually tracking stamp inventory because the machine's computer does it all for you. That drastically reduces stamp pilferage or theft. Plus, it just makes bulk mail look super neat and professional. You can even program it to print your customized company logo or an ad slogan right there on the envelope.
Section 5. Inward and outward journeys.
So let's trace the actual life of a letter. The inward journey has to be a strict protocol so nothing falls through the cracks. First, mail is officially received and acknowledged. Second, it's triaged into specific pigeonholes. Personal mail gets separated out, and urgent stuff like court summons jumps the line. Third, official mail is carefully opened. And finally, and this is absolutely crucial, it's date stamped. A machine stamps the exact date and time on the mail, permanently preserving the official timeline of when the company got it.
Now, pushing it out the door is just as rigorous. First, outgoing mail is recorded in a dispatch register and folded. Then, it's addressed, and our sources really emphasize the absolute necessity of using the PIN code for accurate delivery. Next, confidential stuff is carefully sealed, while things like general catalogs might be left unsealed. Finally, it's weighed, franked with the precise postage to avoid overpaying, and handed off to a courier or the post office.
Finally, Section 6, Embracing the Digital Shift.
This quote from the source text really hits the nail on the head. During COVID-19 lockdown, it has become almost clear that physical way of dealing with mail is no more sustainable over the long run. Look, digital platforms were already there, but the pandemic permanently hit the fast-forward button. Companies had to shift to electronic transmission. It's immediate, it's paperless, and it is by far the shortest route between a sender and a receiver.
A huge part of this shift is something we do so often we don't even think about it: appending files. Simply attaching a digital file to an email has entirely revolutionized the workflow. Think about what that actually means. A single click literally replaces those massive, noisy folding and inserting machines we talked about earlier. It bypasses physical couriers entirely, delivering complex documents right to someone's screen in seconds.
Now, sure, we're probably never going to get rid of physical mail completely. Some things just legally require paper. But the physical volume is shrinking every day, which leaves us with a really fascinating thought. When the vast majority of our mailrooms are just servers and software, and that final physical letter is digitized, how will this corporate nervous system adapt its defenses against entirely digital threats? It is a massive question in modern data management, and definitely something to chew on. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer. I'll catch you in the next one.